I'm Dr. Ajantha Perera. I'm so happy that the proceedings of the Express Pearl is going well. We have a full bench of 5 judges, and therefore we are hoping that there will be a good outcome of it. Basically, I'm looking at this whole thing as an international court case, because what has happened is a Singaporean ship is the one that caught fire in the Sri Lankan waters, and therefore the damage to the environment is something that we are looking into to get our compensation. This is very important, because if you look at the world today, whether it's US or Germany or Japan, we are all thinking about environment. Environment matters because it's so connected. Air is connected, water is connected, the living, the fish, they are all connected. And therefore, it's very important that we look into these issues, court cases, on an international level. And so, basically, what is actually happening right now in the world is that, people are a little hesitant to give compensation. The Singaporeans are a bit hesitant, or rather, the shipping companies, a bit hesitant to give compensation. And I firmly believe, as an environmental scientist, as someone who has actually graduated from foreign countries, I firmly believe that it is rather a very stupid move not to want to give compensation, because the international forum is looking at every country to see how committed they are towards the environment. Environment matters. And so, unfortunately or fortunately, I believe it's unfortunately, that the Attorney General of Sri Lanka has decided to take the Express Pearl case to Singapore to be heard. Now, we have a disadvantage through that, because there is a limitation order that has been given by a British jury or a British courts, and they are saying that the amount of compensation we can claim for is limited. It amounts to about 19,000 Great Britain pounds, and that's a small amount of money. I may be wrong in the figure, but it comes to about 24 American dollar, 24 million American dollars. But our claim for this compensation of Express Pearl is rather 6.4 billion US dollars, 6.4 billion US dollars. That's what the amount comes to when we really calculate the amount of damage that has occurred. Now, the situation is, how could we ever accept what the Singaporeans are giving us? Because we know what we are talking. Water samples, we've taken the amount of damage that has occurred. We need to extrapolate it into the coastal area. We need to extrapolate into what would be happening in the future, because there are about 1,000 containers containing chemicals in the seabed. And so, the amount that what we are quoting, 6.4 billion USD, is totally a small amount of money for a huge damage that has happened. We have, since we were not given any compensation for the environmental damage, I personally have gone to the United Nations as a last remedy to say, please intervene, please look into it, please monitor the whole process. But unfortunately, even the United Nations has not supported us. They have not really worked hard to monitor the whole process. And I was hoping that the United Nations Environmental Program would be one that would be very interested in this case, but it has not happened. So here we are today. We are running, or we are rather investigating in Sri Lanka. We have actually filed cases which are basic fundamental right cases at the Supreme Court, and these things are going ahead. So one thing I like to tell the international community is this: you need to abide by the principles that you lay out. I was graduated in England. I was graduated in Germany from the University of Munich. And I have also graduated from the University of Tennessee in the USA. But unfortunately, you know, though we have learned so much from those countries about environmental protection, now we see that they themselves are not really adhering to these things. They are the ones who should tell the Singaporean shipping company, look, you have damaged the Sri Lankan waters and therefore you need to give that compensation to them. These countries should intervene. The United Nations should intervene. It's never too late. Our case proceedings are going ahead, and we are hoping very much that we will have a good hearing and maybe good outcome. But more than that, I'm hoping also that the international community will intervene and would help us. You know, it's one of the greatest things that I have learned in Germany while I was studying is that you speak direct, that you talk to the point, and that you say when something is white to say it as white, and when something is black to say it as black. And so, you know, I myself who have been groomed from these countries, and you know, it's very, very important that we make sure that the way that we want things to be handled, the same way we like in Sri Lanka too, the things to happen. So I'm urging all my friends all over the world, support the Express Pearl ship disaster case, help Sri Lanka to get the compensation that we deserve. And this, don't think of this as a situation that has happened in Sri Lanka case. It's a case for you also to study and make sure justice is done. Justice not only for America, justice not only for Japan, justice not only for India, but justice also for Sri Lanka. So I'm asking the Singaporeans to support our case, because your country and our country are friends, but we need to restore our environment. And I, as an environmental scientist, am pleading you that you would support for us to get the compensation which we deserve. Thank you so much.